Hello, everybody. Just got home from work. This might be the realest video I upload yet. The current state of the gaming industry is interesting to me. It's interesting. You know, I'm not even mad. I'm not upset. I'm not salty. You know, it's just the way I see it is what it is. All right. That's kind of how I'm feeling about it. It is what it is. You know, I don't work for Nintendo. I don't work for Sony, and I don't work for Microsoft. So now I'm gonna put it to you like this, right? I've told y'all many times, I literally, even if I wanted to, it would make absolutely no sense for me to pick sides in terms of companies. I can't do it. I can't fanboy. I can't shill. As soon as any company does something I don't like, I'm gonna tell you I don't like that. I think that's a bad idea. Do I really care that much? Not really. You know, not exactly. Like I told y'all before, I upload to YouTube as a hobby because I just like to voice my opinions. You know, growing up with I was raised on PlayStation. I always had a Nintendo console somewhere in hand. And I was on Xbox since day one. I've had the best of all three platforms all my life. All my life. And for a time, all three of them were spectacular. I was so very happy with my Nintendo DS's, my Game Boys, especially the Game Boys. Jesus Christ. The PSP was amazing. The PS Vita is probably one of the coolest consoles Sony has ever made. Honestly, I think the PS Vita was one of the coolest consoles ever made, period. That thing was so freaking cool. And then Xbox revolutionized multiplayer. Playing Xbox online with the homies late at night after, Friday, getting home from school, being on Castle Miner Z, which y'all know about that, till 4 in the freaking morning with the homies. Halo Reach, Call of Duty Black Ops, man. They're all three companies for a time, all three were spectacular. I could not complain about nothing. And then after, 2013, I think that's when things kind of went downhill. Starting with, Xbox trying to, the whole DRM thing, and then, TV, Xbox was bugging. And then eventually Sony started bugging. And then Nintendo started doing things I didn't like. And then eventually PlayStation lost all of its value. I think starting in the PS5 era is when things went downhill for Sony on my end. For me personally, the value just wasn't there anymore. Nintendo still had some value for me, right? Because I did buy the Nintendo Switch out of curiosity, and for a time I liked it. And then once I started, messing around with it more, they had that service where you had all those retro games for, I think it was, how was it, $40 a year or $40 a month? I don't remember. But all I know was I just wanted to play some Metroid Fusion. It's like my favorite video game of all time. I love Metroid Fusion so much. I love that game. Okay. But something about that was like, why am I spending this much money just to play Metroid Fusion? Like, something don't feel right. And, I always heard about people emulating their games, and I'm like, I feel like I should not be paying this much money just to be playing some Game Boy Advance games that Nintendo could just re-release for like a buck a pop or $5 a pop. You know what I mean? Like, what the heck is even the point of this little service they got going on? So I stopped subscribing to it. And I spend a lot of time on TikTok because that's where all my my Gunpla, my Gundam homies are at. That's where the Gundam community's at. You know, that's where I post all my Gunpla model kits and all that stuff. And because of my interests that I typically watch on the internet, you know, gaming related interests, emulation devices such as, you know, the where is it? Oh, there it is. You know, emulation is heavily advertised to me on TikTok. You know, they'll show, you know, the Trimui Smart Pro and the Ambernic RG 406V, for example. You know, they show all those devices on TikTok so often. And I got really curious, you know, seeing people play all these retro games on this device just seamlessly, like willy-nilly, like people playing freaking GameCube games on it. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, alright, I need to look into this. And then I bought the Trimui Smart Pro, and then once I got the Trimui Smart Pro, I'm looking at my Nintendo Switch like, what the hell is even the point of you now? Like, what's the point of the Switch then? Like, I don't care for Nintendo exclusives personally. I don't typically care for that. And typically, I was buying third-party games on my Switch, you know, like Metro Redux, Metro 2033, I think I bought Borderlands, I don't remember. But I wasn't really playing many Nintendo exclusives. Besides Smash and Metroid, that's it. Mainly, I just wanted to play retro games, but Nintendo is really stingy with that. So I'm like, the Switch, I'm emulating. So I got the Trimui, loved it, didn't touch my Switch after that. It collected dust. It's still collecting dust because now I have this. So then after I got the Trimui, I got this. So emulation completely just blew Nintendo out of the water for me. I don't freaking need Nintendo anymore. And I have no interest in their future exclusives. So I'm not getting a Switch 2 because that thing is 1080p for how much money? Like, it's just, no. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, bro. And then you're raising games to $80? No, we're not doing it. And now Xbox, right? Now, how do I really feel about Xbox's recent price hike? I think raising the price of video games to $80, obviously, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that. That's freaking crazy. $80 for some video games is crazy work. Now, I already own an Xbox, so price hiking the Xbox higher now doesn't bother me per se. I don't care, but it's less likely that somebody's gonna buy your console now because you just up the price on it. Like, the Series S should not be $400. It should not be. Again, it doesn't have a disk drive. It's only got like 512 gigabytes of storage, which that's not a lot. In this generation, that's not a lot of storage for X and S enhanced games. It's not a lot, okay? You're gonna be able to put like maybe 4 games in there, and that's it. Like, how many games do I have on my internal hard drive right now? Let me look at that real quick. I'll tell you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Only 15 games in my internal storage. You know how much I have in my external? Let me show you. My external storage is redonkulous. It's got mad games on it. 129. External has 129 and still has a buttload of space. I could put way more games in there even right now, but the internal has no room. So 400 for Series S, tripping. But now, where do I stand in all this? You know, when hits the fan in this hobby, a real gamer adapts. How do you adapt? Well, you got to figure it out. I already figured it out. Like I said, I already have my Xbox. So them price hiking the Xbox does not affect me. I already freaking have it. Okay. Games get rise in price, $80. Look, I already don't really buy games that often unless it's a third party game that I'm really interested in. Like RoboCop, for example, bought it. Monster Hunter Wilds, bought it. Tekken 8, bought it. Street Fighter 6, bought it. MechWarrior 5, bought it. Warhammer Space Marine 2, bought it. See, a lot of people come on here calling me an Xbot, think I don't buy games. Oh, I buy games. I just don't buy exclusives like that. But most of the games I play on a regular, I bought. Elden Ring, bought it. Forza Horizon 5, bought it. That's like the one exclusive I bought, because I like racing games. Overall, I don't care that much. Because I just adapt. Alright? Are you passionate about this hobby? Okay, so what do? When things get like this, you adapt. How am I going to adapt? I emulate. And then I'm moving to PC. And for the time, my Xbox is still doing its job. So I don't need to worry too much. Personally. What does this mean for everybody else? I don't know, man. You better figure it out. I'm talking to you fanboys. You guys bitch and moan about every freaking thing. I don't need to. So, you got Mr. Den over here clipping my videos. You know, it's like, dude, you got nothing on me. I've got too much to play, still. So, I'm not too worried about what's going on. I've got a million hobbies already. If gaming gets to the point where there is as they say, a gaming crash, industry crash or whatever, find something to do. Find something to do. When I'm not gaming, I'm building Gunpla. When I'm not gaming, I'm skateboarding. When I'm not gaming, I'm drawing. Find something to do. That's how I feel about it. Like, let me tell y'all, I am very nonchalant. Not much bothers me. And this is one of those things that's like, okay. That's literally how I feel about it. You know, Sony is a corporation. Microsoft is a corporation. Nintendo is a corporation. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about you at all, man. They don't care about any of you. You Nintendrones, they don't care about you. Sony ponies, they don't care about you. Xbots, they don't care about you. They care about what's in your wallet. They care about what's in your wallet. That's it. You want to know what would really bother me? If they raised the price of master grade Gunpla kits. For some odd reason. Because typically they're like $40. Raise them to like, I don't know, 80 or something like that. Okay, that's when I'm mad. Bronson bearings for skateboards, raise them shits higher. Alright, I'm mad. Video games, look, there are many ways I can get my hands on some video games. This day and age. Figure it out, people. There are shortcuts. I already found my shortcut. Plus, MMOs are free, and I love MMOs. I'm chilling. Look, I'm gonna leave you with this too. A lot of you need to step out of your freaking comfort zone. The only reason you're upset about a lot of these things is because you guys stick to your guns. You don't do anything new. You play the same crap over and over and over again. You're complacent where you are as a gamer, and that is why you're a freaking fanboy. You point the finger where you don't need to be pointing it at. I play too many games, which is why I don't point fingers. I'm only telling you the truth and how I feel. Multiple times I've predicted happenings that have gone on in this freaking industry. I told you PC was inevitable. Here we are. I told y'all this on this channel. I said this. at the time I started this channel that PC was inevitable. That was like the third real video I uploaded on here. I uploaded that video like maybe a year and a half ago. Actually, yeah, like a year and a half ago. Here we are. PC is inevitable. I was absolutely right. I'm getting a freaking PC this year. Think I won't? A lot of y'all are the fakest freaking gamers I've ever seen on this platform. Sony ponies, even some Xbox. You guys are the fakest freaking gamers I've ever seen. I'm not gonna name names. Lord knows I play me some video games, bro. I told y'all, time and time again. All 3 platforms. On my belt. All 3. So, really, I just don't care. I'll still find a way to game anyway. I don't freaking care, man. I don't care. In the meantime, I'm gonna go hunt Gore Magala on Monster Hunter Wilds because I want that gem he's got. So, deuces.